All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Detroit Lions. Baby, this squad is special. We talked about it this summer. We talked about it at the end of the last season. But now, week one is concluded, and the Detroit Lions are 1-0, and their one victory is coming on the road to kick off the season against the Super Bowl frickin' champs. No Chris Jones, no Travis Kelce. I don't give a damn. A win is a win. When did a win not become a win in the national media? Listen, I'm a Green Bay Packers fan. The Detroit Lions, I'm 24 years old. I haven't been around for too long. But in my lifetime, the Detroit Lions have lost that game every single time. Every single time. Maybe, Megatron, Matthew Stafford, they win one of them. But at a consistent rate, guys, we saw this last season. The second half of last year, after that first Green Bay victory, something switched. What switched was they started winning. This team started closing football games, and they started to win. Doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be sexy, but a win is a win. A 9-play fourth quarter drive to finish off the game. When your offense wasn't perfect, your offense certainly wasn't perfect last night. But what do good teams do? They close. They win. No matter how the game has been going, they find ways to win. This squad, the Detroit Lions, are the definition of resiliency. And this is something we saw coming. The second half of last year, they won. They won freaking football games. Even with a terrible statistical defense, which, by the way, all freaking broadcasts I'm hearing left and right, you got to give credit to the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Who just won the Super Bowl? Was it the Detroit Lions or was it the Kansas City Chiefs? Who won the Super Bowl? I'm just asking because I'm curious. I'm curious who won the Super Bowl. Oh, it was the Chiefs. Put some respect on the Lions' name. Before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Lions fans, you guys have had my back for 9-10 months since I started covering this team, and I appreciate you guys so much. If you could try and get this video to 1,000 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. But you couldn't have drawn it up any better. You literally could not have drawn it any better. Dan Campbell, on the second freaking drive of the game, on your own 18th against the Super Bowl freaking champs, calls a fake punt. The balls on this dude. That's what the NFL needs. They need dudes with balls, and that's exactly what Dan Campbell has built with this chemistry, with this football team. They're gritty, they're resilient, and they're freaking talented. We talked about this last night, man. The game ended with Mike Tirico literally saying there's an asterisk on last night's win because there was no Kelce and Jones. This is what football is all about. Players get injured. Players get better. Players get worse. There's day-to-day storylines. Damn straight there's going to be week-to-week, month-to-month, year-to-year storylines. Put some respect on this Lions team. But they don't need it. They're not asking for respect. They're not asking for credit. What do they want to do? They're focused on one freaking thing. That's winning football games. These guys are having fun. They are every single player, every single coach. They're bought in. 100% bought in. Even if they didn't win last night, everybody's bought in. This is a team. This is a unit. This is a special freaking squad, man. These young guys last season made a big time impact. So Detroit goes out and they start off in free agency and they get guys like CJ Gardner-Johnson. You're thinking to yourself, hold on. Detroit just went 9-8. And they just bolstered their defensive unit. They just bolstered their team in free agency. And then the draft comes and it's like, oh my God. Speaking of the draft, Jahmyr Gibbs, NFL debut. I know he should have been out there way more. But guys, it's an 18-month season. What do we want Jahmyr Gibbs to be? Even though he's a rookie, I want him healthy. I want the dude healthy. We know the Detroit Lions are a playoff team. Whether it's 10 wins, whether it's 11, whether it's 12, 13, whatever, the Detroit Lions are a playoff team. I need Jahmyr Gibbs healthy. But in his NFL debut, 42 rushing yards, 34 of those were after contact. 34 out of 42 were after contact. 4.9 yards per carry after contact, 6 missed tackles forced. How many rushes did he have? 7. He had 7. But it doesn't end just there. Sam Laporta, immediate impact. We talked about it in preseason. We talked about it in training camp, but we wanted to see it come to fruition. In his NFL debut, 5 catches, 39 yards, clear-cut tight end 1. Clear cut. Then we get to the defensive side. Brian Branch, first pick 6 in a Lions rookie debut since the 40s. That's almost 100 years. That's almost 100 years ago. Brian Branch, I don't care if Kadarius Toney dropped it. The dude still made the play. This dude still had a pick six. The Detroit Lions still had a defensive touchdown. And I'm going to take that any day of the freaking week. I'm so sick of these asterisks. I'll use a great Packers reference that I thought of in the middle of the day today. For me personally, yeah, Aaron Rodgers might technically only have one Super Bowl ring, right? But I have an asterisk on his one because I think Aaron Rodgers could have 4 or 5 if he had a defense, right? So the asterisk, come on, give me a freaking break. Give some respect to this team. Finally, we're going to finish it off with the rookies. Jack Campbell, huge pass deflection in the second half. But guys, this defense is legit. I know that Patrick Mahomes was without Kelsey, and we have to give credit where credit is due. The Kansas City Chiefs defense was super solid, but offensively, I have literally zero concerns with the Detroit Lions offense. We talked about this yesterday. Josh Reynolds had a phenomenal game, 4 catches, 80 yards. Khalif Raymond had a great 20-yard catch. The only people who were worried about the Detroit Lions offense were non-Detroit Lion fans. Everybody was looking at the defense, and you get big time names. You get your CJ Gardner-Johnson, but then you get your guys like Cameron. You have your draft class, Campbell, Brian Branch, et cetera, but you retain important players like Alex Anzalone, who had a pass deflection, quarterback hit, 6 total tackles. Oh my goodness, we just coughed in a video. I do apologize about that. I actually don't know if that's ever happened. But anyways, CJ Gardner-Johnson had an insane game. He sealed the deal. CJ Gardner-Johnson single-handedly, I'm not going to say single-handedly because that's disrespectful to the defense. Guys like Aiden Hutchinson, with the pass rush, like he had 3 total quarterback hits. The dude is a freaking stud. Like he's a literal stud. But CJ Gardner-Johnson on that last possession, the last Chiefs possession, the dude made back-to-back game-clinching plays. CJ Gardner-Johnson is a dog, but he has something on his shoulder, and it's a chip. It's a gritness. It's a toughness. It's a mentality. It's a way of life. And that's what the Detroit Lions, they're just seeking players out like this. Hungry ass football team. Never underestimate your opponent, and that's what the Kansas City Chiefs did. Now, I will say, I will give credit once again to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I'll use an example. If the Lions were to miss a game with Aiden Hutchinson, and Amon-Ra St. Brown, well, it's like, obviously we're not at full strength here, but that's football. That's reality at the end of the day. Things happen, and not always are those things going to be in your favor. That's just life, baby. That's especially football. The Lions, the resiliency that they showed, this is a squad, man. This is a squad, and Dan Campbell is, in my opinion, coach of the year. My coach of the year prediction. Obviously, right now he's going to be coach of the year because they're the only game played. But that Kool-Aid, man, we talked about it all freaking summer. The Kool-Aid tastes great. I'm not going to finish my drink completely until the playoffs come, but everything we talked about, even though it wasn't perfect, once again, it wasn't perfect, but this is a game the Lions did not win in my life. They don't win games like this. And as a Packers fan, I've always appreciated that. But the tides have turned. And the Detroit Lions have arrived, baby. So let me know what you're thinking. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. As always, if you want daily NFL content, what were your thoughts on the Lions' first game? Let me know down below.